Good evening. I'm Gary Franchi, Next News Network Chief White House Correspondent, delivering the latest White House news from the past 24 hours in partnership with our streaming partner, Trump Daily Post. Tonight, the White House is driving a clear message across the board. President Trump is pushing America to the front of quantum technology, locking in momentum towards permanent peace with Iran and tying tough border enforcement to results Americans can feel at home, including lower rents. The White House message over the last 24 hours centered on continued implementation of the President's Quantum Initiative executive order that was signed yesterday. The administration framed those actions as a major push to secure American leadership in quantum technologies, strengthen national security, and protect the country against advanced cryptographic threats. The White House also kept a heavy focus on the Iran track, declaring that Iran's military complex has been destroyed, that the Strait of Hormuz has reopened, and that lower oil prices and a stronger market are flowing from the president's deal-making. The same White House guidance tied border enforcement to economic relief, saying that the end of the open borders era was helping drive rents down nationwide. On the social platforms, the administration promoted quantum leadership, Iran progress, and a health initiative from Senator Kennedy built around the message that the future of medicine should be built in America. The White House also highlighted that President Trump used Truth Social to reinforce support for the Iran agreement, political endorsements, and America First wins. In addition, the White House included a South Carolina political note pointing to Attorney General Alan Wilson's decisive Republican primary runoff win for governor on Tuesday night. And from the pool reports in Pennsylvania, President Trump sharpened the administration's Iran message during a 7-minute press gaggle under the wing of the aircraft after landing. He said Iran was wrong to claim there is no scheduled visit from International Atomic Energy Agency inspectors and made clear that inspectors will be on the ground at the appropriate time. The White House statement on the broader Iran effort said Vice President Vance and the U.S. negotiating team secured a foundational deal in Switzerland with mechanisms for an open Strait of Hormuz, a regional ceasefire channel, and renewed IAEA access inside Iran. The White House added that technical teams from multiple agencies, including the Department of Energy, are now working the next phase, while President Trump remains firm that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. From the in-town pool reports, President Trump departed the White House at 11:52 this morning for Pennsylvania. Didn't take questions on the way out. We also have the note that the travel pool tracked the trip in stages. The motorcade rolled to Joint Base Andrews in rainy conditions. The pool noted the dismantling of the UFC claw on the south lawn along the route. The White House officials said several guests traveled with the president, including Senator Dave McCormick, Congressman John Joyce, and Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt, who is back from her maternity leave, along with senior aides. One pool email contained an obvious error and referred to President Biden boarding the aircraft, but the surrounding travel reports make clear that President Trump was on today's Pennsylvania trip. The aircraft landed at Reading Regional Airport at 12:58 p.m. with no visitors to the back of the plane during the short flight. The motorcade reached Mack Trucks Lehigh Valley operations at 2:05 p.m. The venue placed the president on a factory floor stage beneath the large America Workers First banner framed by two red and white trucks with workers in fluorescent safety vests behind him. President Trump took the stage at 2:48 to cheers and chants of USA, toured the factory beforehand, and delivered remarks that continued through the afternoon. A heckler was quickly removed early in the speech, while the crowd answered with applause, cheers, and plenty of MAGA gear in view. The speech wrapped at 4:13 p.m. with YMCA playing as the pool exited, and the president even paused to compliment a supporter wearing a brick wall patterned suit before the motorcade pulled out for the airport at 4:20. From there, the pool returned to Reading Airport at 4:57 p.m. and President Trump left Pennsylvania at 5 p.m. after making brief remarks that the pool could not clearly hear. Air Force One touched down at Joint Base Andrews at 5:40. The president re-entered the motorcade just after 5:50, and the motorcade arrived back at the White House shortly after 6:15. The in-town pool confirmed the president returned at 6:17 and did not take questions. At 6:26, the White House called the travel and photo lid for the rest of the day. Now, earlier in the day, according to the daily guidance relayed through the in-town pool, there were initially no changes to the White House schedule and no in-town events were expected before the president's Pennsylvania trip was added to the day's movement reports. Separately, the vice president's overnight Switzerland travel officially closed out just after midnight on Eastern time, when Air Force Two landed at Joint Base Andrews at 12:39 a.m. The Vice President and Second Lady stayed on board and continued on to San Diego, and the travel report noted that Atlas, the second family's German Shepherd, was seen being brought onto the plane. Taken together, the last 24 hours show an administration pressing its advantage, driving implementation on quantum technology, reinforcing a hardline peace-through-string approach on Iran, and keeping the president active on the road with an America Workers First message. That's the White House file tonight.